and welcome to my channel. I changed scenery for today because my boyfriend wants to play games in the bedroom, so I'm sitting in the living room. So I hope you enjoy my beautiful closet in the background. Today we're talking about my August favorites. I've stopped putting them on my face in the same video because I've acquired quite a lot in recent months, or at least I have a lot of favorites to talk about, and I couldn't put everything on my face at the same time anyway. So I figured I would just do separate videos with Get Ready With Me styles and then just talk about the products here. So I have a nice assortment of products, but not many new things. For next month I will have a couple of new things because, as you probably know, I went to Prague and I bought a lot of souvenirs, but I haven't included those in this video yet. So let's start with foundation. I don't have a new foundation, at least not one that I tried in August that was also one of my favorites, but I did happen to use my Glowish skin tint quite a lot. This is the one. I have mine in the shade Fair, which is a little bit on the dark side. These run a little bit dark, but it's okay. And I feel like I've already gone through quite a lot of this. Maybe there was an air bubble or something, but I feel like it's getting quite thin at the top. Anyway, this is one of my favorite foundations at the moment. I am wearing it right now. I think I'm wearing a lot of these products for today. I did think about that when I put everything on. I haven't really powdered very heavily, but there's still a nice sheen everywhere. So that's what I really love about this foundation. I'm sure you've already heard me talk about it a lot, so I'm not going to linger too much on it, but still a heavy favorite. Next, I want to talk about some liquid products because I've recently fallen in love with cream and liquid products for the face and also the eyes. I did buy some new stuff that I already tested out that I really love, but I couldn't include it here. But there are some things that I did use a lot in the month of August that are cream and liquid. So the first one is one that I rediscovered because of my project pan. It's the Bare Minerals Liquid Bronzer. I have mine in the shade Faux Tan. And that's actually what's creating my pretty intense bronzing look at the moment. For me, this is pretty dark. I can squeeze some out of my hand. But it is a beautiful shade. I think they also have a warmer shade, but this one is a little bit more neutral, I think. So it's beautiful. It is this color that also sculpts a little bit. And the formula is just great, and you don't need a lot. And see, it spreads out so easily and so far with just a little bit. So I actually only need one little drop to cover my whole face. I do always accidentally press out two, but then I have way too much. So yeah, this feels very nice. It does have a little bit of a scent, but it's more of a makeup-y scent. It's not really like perfume or anything. I think it's very tolerable. So yeah, I did rediscover this because of my project pan and I couldn't be happier. Something I tried in one of my most recent or more recent Get Ready With Me trying new products was this super dewy liquid blush from Makeup Revolution. I have mine in the shade... what are you called? I'm really not sure. There isn't a name on here. Maybe it's Fortunately Flushed, but that could just be the name of the product itself. I'm not sure. I'll also show you this one, and I was so impressed because when I read the name Super Dewy, I was worried that it was more of a highlighter, but it's actually quite a matte formula. And I don't know if you can see it properly, but it's this beautiful baby pink. I actually forgot to put it on today. So you'll have to watch the video where I tested this out. It is my latest testing new drugstore video. But it's this beautiful baby pink, super ethereal light color. I find that a lot of pinks actually turn a little bit more peachy on me. I'm not sure if it's my skin tone or if that's just the nature of pink products. But this one remains very pink and very girly, and I really like the formula as well. It blends out perfectly, and it's actually a little bit more of a moussey texture, so it feels nice and soft and creates this beautiful velvet finish. There's actually, now that I'm looking closer at it, a little bit of shimmer in the bronzer, but as you can see, the blush is quite matte. Then for setting powder, I do have a couple of favorites from the past couple of months, but what I've really rediscovered is my Dior powder. Well, I never really stopped using this, but I really fell in love with it all over again because I found out that I can also use this perfectly to set underneath my eyes. I was worried that this was a little bit too dark. It has this opening with the mesh over top of it. But it's actually not, and except for when I want a lot of brightening, this is perfect. And I find myself not wanting that intense brightening anymore. I did do it today to finish up some of my Project Ban products, which are a little bit more darker, and I do like the effect. But on most days, especially now that I'm going back to classes, I want it to be just a little bit more casual. And I find that something like this doesn't take away the shine from your foundations either, so you end up looking quite natural, and I like that. I didn't fall in love with a liquid highlighter yet. I've yet to find a liquid highlighter that doesn't break up my makeup. I know a lot of people complain about this, and it's the case with me as well. If you happen to know a good one that doesn't break up my makeup and that's available here in Europe, then I would love to know. But for now, I do have a powder highlight that I really fell in love with. This is the Catrice Highlighter. It's called High Glow Mineral Highlighting Powder in the shade 10 Light Infusion. And this shocked me how good this is. I bought it for the video, you know, trying a full face of new drugstore makeup, thinking that it was probably going to be a one-time use only, and I was of course hoping that it would be better than that, and I put my faith in it because I don't like buying things just for one time. And boy, did it make my opinion change. So this is what it looks like on my finger. I'm going to put it here. I'm not sure if you can see that. Well, I'm also wearing it right now. It's this beautiful, soft, finely milled, I guess, powder in this beautiful ethereal pink shade. And that's what's the most interesting about this. If you see this, you think it's probably more like beigey, like champagne-y maybe, but it's really a little bit pinky, and a little bit purpley is even in there. Like, it's what's giving me the glow over here on my nose, center of my face. You know, I always put my highlighter everywhere. And I think it's just so beautiful, and the formula is so nice, and I feel like it lasts quite a long time. What I did discover this month was that the Becca highlighters really are not what they ought to be. I'm not sure if mine is just getting old, but I've seen it with other highlighters as well. When they're too powdery of a formula, they just disappear after an hour. You put on quite a lot and it doesn't even look that good. And then after an hour, there's nothing left and it looks even worse. So I really didn't notice that about those Becca highlighters. So when I started using them more for my Project Ban, I really noticed how good this one was. As you may have realized if you see more of my videos like this, I always love a good face palette. I have quite a lot of them in my opinion, and I use them all the time. I hear people talking about how they never use their face palettes and I want to use them more, but I really use them all the time. Also for the mirrors, but also just for the products that are in it. There's always one or two products that I pick out of a face palette in general. So my favorites for the last month were these by NARS. This is the Full Dimension #1. And this is the Orgasm on the Beach palette. I'll show you this one first. I got it in May, I think, when I went with my mom to Eindhoven. This is what it looks like. The highlighter shade is a little bit deep for me, so I end up using it as a blush topper, but that doesn't happen too often. But I do really like this bronzer. It's a little deep for me. I'll swatch it. I'll swatch it here. You see, it's even deeper than the Bare Minerals one, but it blends out so perfectly, and it's a little bit more of a cool undertone, so I use it to sculpt as well, and I find it looks so cool. I'm not sure how it's possible, but yeah, I really like that. And then when I have a more, like today, I have a more cool toned eye look, I usually pick out one of these two blushes as well. I like them equally. I don't think there's that big of a difference between them. As you can see, One is a little bit more neutral and the other is a little bit more pink, and one has a little bit more shine and one is a little bit more matte, but really on the cheeks there's not that big of a difference. I do think this darker one is a little bit more pigmented, so I guess there's the difference. I like using them both. I just pick one, whatever I want, and yeah, then I'm all happy. When I have a little bit more of a warm toned look, more of a summery look with a bright orangey red lipstick, then I reach for the Orgasm on the Beach palette. And mainly because I'm just in love with this shade. This highlighter is actually also a little bit too deep for me, but I like mixing these two shades. And then it becomes a little bit more of a shiny blush. But this blush on itself is also quite shiny. This is what it looks like. It's this beautiful apricot kind of shade. It's stunning. And I really like the other blushes as well, but I do use them less. I mainly use this one. You can see the writing is coming off here. Way more than over here. And also this one has a decent mirror. So the great thing about these NARS palettes is that the mirror stands up on its own, which is perfect if you're doing your makeup just somewhere. I like to do my makeup on the couch or on the bed for some reason, and then it's perfect to have this mirror that you can just set down and use your hands for other stuff. So yeah, I love these. Loved these in the past couple of weeks. So that was it for the face. I told you I had quite a lot. From now on I don't have that much anymore. I want to share two palettes with you. One new release that I reviewed was the Huda Beauty Wild Obsessions Jaguar palette. I'm wearing it on my eyes right now. I tried to do a little bit more of a softer look today. The looks that I did in my 3 looks 1 palette video were quite dramatic. I really liked them, but for today I want something a little bit more soft. So this is what the palette looks like. And I'm especially in love with this middle shade right here. This beautiful, that's what I have all over my lid. Beautiful lavender with some sparkle in there. And all these shades are very unique. There's also this sort of gray, but it's almost a green. Do you see how pretty that is? And then there's this gunmetal gray with a black undertone. It's really quite a stunning palette. And this one I also use for the mirror, but it does fall back, so it's a little bit less convenient. The other palette I want to show you is this one by Nabla. It's the Dreamy 2 palette. I'm not sure if I've shared this before. I don't think so. In July, I think, I bought some things of a Dutch store, Boozy Shop, and they were having a sale, and I bought some palettes, and I bought that blush that I was talking about and some other stuff. And I also bought this Nabla palette, and I've been using it quite a lot. I did have a little gathering of people in August, and I did use the blue shades in this, and I really liked it. I also wore this palette on the day that I left for Prague, and my mom really thought the eyeshadow was very pretty. And it did last all the way until we were at the hotel, which was about 14 hours later. So yeah, it's good stuff. It's really good. I especially like this sort of glittery purpley blue. Such a stunning shade. I really like this palette. Then for mascara, I do have a favorite, but it's not always a favorite. I did try out the Essence Lash Princess last month, and I have been using it consistently, and at first I figured it was alright, but it was smudging quite a bit, so I couldn't put it in my favorites. But now that it's dried out a little bit more, it smudges less, and I do really like it. I do really like the effect. As you can see, my lashes are quite prominent, and that's all on this mascara. So I do like it, but if I want my makeup to look absolutely flawless for more than 10 hours, I won't reach for this probably, just because the risk is too big. But for every day, it's fine. It really gets a lot of volume, a lot of length. It really makes my lashes look like they're longer than they are, and that's what I like. So it's a fine mascara. It's just not as reliable as other mascaras have been in the past. I think if I have to choose, I would still choose my Catrice Lift Up Mascara or the Givenchy Disturbia Mascara, which have similar effects. Then finally I have a few lip products here. I've been really falling back in love with red lipsticks. The one that I'm wearing today is the Patsy Red by Charlotte Tilbury. This is from the Hot Lips 2 collection. I keep them in the boxes because I find the boxes so cute. It's like they have a little home with the little case. And it's not that much work to get them out every time. So that is this perfectly cool red shade, or I guess it's just a little bit cool, but it's a little bit darker than most red lipsticks are, and I find it so flattering, and the formula is so comfortable and it lasts a really long time. I just ate a meal and I did touch up a little bit, but there was still quite a lot of color left, and I did eat soup, so that's quite impressive, I think. Another lipstick I've been really loving is this one from Chanel. This is the Rouge Coco Bloom in the shade 140 Alive. And I've used quite a lot of this. This one is a little bit more terracotta leaning. I'll swatch it over here. It's a pretty similar shade, but it's a little bit lighter. And it has a sheen in it. The other shade is more matte, or is absolutely matte. And this one has a sheen and also a little bit of sparkle in there. I really like this formula as well. It stains the lips a little bit, so it does give off quite a bit. Come off quite a bit if you touch your lips, but there is always a little bit of color left behind, and I mean, this color is just stunning. I really like the way this formula looks on my lips as well. But for convenience sake, I more often use the Charlotte Tilbury one. But I think if I have to choose, I like the Chanel one even better. And finally I have these little lip glosses by ABH. There's actually a fourth one that I couldn't find because I leave these everywhere. They're already half gone, or at least a quarter way done. And I'm so sad because these are going way too fast. I wish I had 4 of the full-sized ones. I really like these. They have a wonderful faint vanilla smell. It's not too strong, but it does smell nice. And I really like the colors. There are 2 more pinky ones and 2 more apricot-y ones. And then there's 1 more creamy one and 1 more glittery one, and I like all 4 of them equally. I think these are so good, and they were from the holiday collection from 2020, but I did find mine on sale at Ici Paris XL, so maybe they're still there for those of you who live in the area, and maybe they're on sale in America as well. I don't know. I just wanted to give a little shout out to these. They're new to me, but they're not really new to the market. And that's it. Those were my August favorites. For next month, I really have a couple of nice new items as well. This month it was a little bit more recycling my old products, which is also great, I think. Why not celebrate the things you already own? So that was it for my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you did enjoy this video, and I will see you in the next one.